All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to crack open the influencer's political playbook and really figure out why the exact same tactics that sell you sneakers are now being used to shape elections. So, have you ever been scrolling through your feed and just stopped to wonder why it's also, well, persuasive? Why a recommendation from some influencer you follow feels less like a paid ad and more like, I don't know, advice from a friend you actually trust? That's the secret sauce, that invisible mechanism we're going to decode today. And really, the answer starts with understanding the modern rulebook for getting people on your side, the influencer playbook. See, this whole playbook only exists because of this huge shift in power. Think about it. Traditional media, that was a one-way street, a monologue, right? They broadcast, we watched, end of story. But social media, that turned it into a conversation. You're not just a passive audience member anymore, you're part of the show. You are an active participant who can comment, share, and, really amplify things. And right at the center of this whole new world is the e-influencer. These aren't just people making content. They are digital opinion leaders. By building a community around a specific topic, they become this super trusted voice. A voice with the power to shape not just what their followers think or feel, but what they actually, do. Okay, so how is all this trust actually built? I mean, it's not magic, right? It's straight up psychology. And it can be broken down into three key elements. We're going to call them the aces of influence.
And this simple little framework, well, it's the key to everything. I promise you, once you see it, you are going to start noticing it everywhere.
So, these are the three pillars that hold up all that trust: attractiveness, credibility, and expertise. I like to think of it like a three-legged stool. If you kick out one of those legs, the whole thing just gets wobbly, right? An influencer has to be appealing, sure, but they also have to be believable, and they need to seem like they actually know what they're talking about. And this is where the whole idea of attractiveness gets really fascinating. Because it's not about being a supermodel. It's all about psychological connection. It's about feeling like, hey, they're like me. It's about them becoming a familiar face you see all the time in your feed. And honestly, it's just about liking them, their personality, the stuff they post. That's what builds the real bond. So when you get all three of those things working together, boom, they create this incredibly powerful emotional bond. That deep sense of trust, that's the holy grail. It's what takes a sales pitch and makes it feel like real advice from a good friend. Okay, so what happens when you take this exact playbook, this thing that's been perfected to sell us stuff, and you apply it to something, well, way more consequential? And here is the big twist. It doesn't matter if the goal is to sell you a product or to sell you on a political ideology, the playbook is exactly the same. The only thing that changes is the product. It's not a lipstick anymore, it's a candidate. So let's just lay it all out there. Let's map this influencer playbook step by step right onto a modern political campaign. I mean, the parallels here are kind of nuts. An influencer's expertise on a product, that becomes a candidate's command of their policies and their record. Their authenticity and likability, well, that gets rebranded as charisma and speaking style. And that all-important trust they have with their followers, yep, that turns into voter confidence. It's almost a one-to-one translation. And you know what? Social media is the perfect place for all of this to happen. Because, like the research shows, people get informed way more quickly through visual messages than they do through long, boring texts. It's a shortcut, right? It's about skipping over all the complicated arguments to create a quick, sticky, emotional impression. And all of a sudden, the things that shape how we vote, they start to look less like a political debate and honestly a lot more like a branding exercise. We end up judging a candidate's personality, their charisma, where they came from, even how popular they seem to be, just like we would with any influencer. They're not just running for office anymore, they're building a personal brand. So what does all of this mean for us? For you and me, the new digital citizens. It means that getting a handle on this playbook, it's not just interesting trivia. It's become an absolutely essential skill for just navigating the world we live in today. So let's wrap it up. Here it is, the unified playbook for digital influence, whether it's commercial or political. First, you analyze the audience. Then you build that trust using the ACEs: attractiveness, credibility, and expertise. You hammer on visual communication. You repeat your message over and over and over again to build belief. And the big one, you create a powerful emotional connection. It works for shoes and it works for votes. So next time you're scrolling, and we all will be, you'll be able to see behind the curtain, right? You'll recognize the playbook whether it's trying to sell you a new phone or a new policy. The real question is, now that you know the playbook, now that you can see the code, how is it going to change the way you read the message? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.